What is going on, FA Nation? John and Pepe here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook live show. It is Friday. We have by ourselves a 12-game DraftKings main slate to go over. Grande, how are you doing on this fine end of the work week?
It's Friday, John. It's Friday, baby. We are doing well. Happy to be here. I don't know. You know what? I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper cream soda. This has been my new.
Okay.
No ads here, but holy cow! I'm a big Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb or Dr. Pibb fan. Mr.
Pibb, yeah. Never had a Mr. Pibb. Don't like Dr. Pepper, so.
I mean, what's
no free ads, but you will catch me drinking a nice cold Diet Coke every now and then.
No free ads. Yeah,
no free ads.
This has been my new obsession, and I'll do this, and then I'll cut soda off for a month. Yeah. So I'm getting in my. I'm being extra with soda, but this is third straight day I can't get enough of this.
There are certain foods and times where soda is an absolute great pairing with something. So
yep. Yeah,
I get it. My lanes talking about Starbucks. I wasn't in a Starbucks. I don't go to Starbucks. I live in Massachusetts. We run on Dunkin's. I've shown James the map of where I live. There's legitimately 6 Dunkin' Donuts within a walk.
A lot of Dunkin's. This is a lot of Dunkin's,
my house.
Dude.
Not even exaggeration. Within walking distance of my house, 6 Dunkin' Donuts. So, Elliot saying vanilla orange Coke. I've heard that actually, believe it or not, when I was co-hosting the SiriusXM Fantasy Alarm show, we talked about our favorite sodas on that show as well. When you go to the movie theaters, you go to a Five Guys or something like that. You can't go to Five Guys; they get peanuts everywhere. But when you go to a place like that and they have the Coke machine that you kind of customize your beverage options, a vanilla orange Coke is an option for some, but it's not nothing I've ever had.
No, see, that's where I draw the line. I draw the line when we start putting orange in. Honestly, I'm not even a cream soda fan. So this was tough, but my wife put me on. So shout out to my wife for the
what I think is a really underrated drink that I have maybe once a year is root beer. Once a year, I think I'll have a root beer and I'll think to myself, I should probably have more than one root beer a year, but I don't. It's just
until the next year. Until the next year.
Yeah, I'll be at a random cookout and someone will buy the variety pack of soda, and I'm like, oh, there's a root beer in here, and it's delicious. You can't really have more than one though. No. And a root beer is great. Grande with his propaganda, man. I wasn't in Starbucks. I wasn't there. I appreciate it. Wasn't in a Starbucks.
Anthony, Krispy Kreme is absolutely a delight. Absolute delight.
Here's the upsetting thing about the Krispy Kreme. One of the Dunkin' Donuts that I showed you near where one of those locations was a Krispy Kreme.
Oh, what a L. They took it out for a Dunkin'?
Nobody went. We all just kept going to Dunkin's.
What's wrong with you people?
The Krispy Kreme lasted maybe a year and a half.
Oh, that's
maybe
sad.
A year and a half, and then it was out.
If I wasn't in my house, I'd pour a little bit out of this no ads Dr. Pepper cream soda, but I'm in my house and I don't want to clean it up. So
yeah. I will agree though, Krispy Kreme good. And every time I have the opportunity to have a nice, warm donut there, good opportunities. Honeydew Donuts is a popular New England chain. Again, few and far between. It's mostly Dunkin's country around here, obviously.
I got a lot of questions because Honeydew Melon is not exactly how I'd eat a donut.
No, Honeydew Donuts, it's different.
Okay.
I think I've talked to this. Honeydew Melon's gross.
Honeydew Melon is elite.
As is cantaloupe. Cantaloupe's disgusting.
Listen. You really derailed this up. You really derailed.
This what's great? Red grapes. I'll eat a billion red grapes.
What, cotton candy grapes? Have you heard of cotton candy grapes?
My wife eats them. Mwah. I don't have them. She freezes them. She does whatever. I'll eat the red grapes.
Okay.
I like apples. Fuji apples. Great apples.
Okay.
I once ate someone pineapple that had burnt my tongue. The acid from the pineapple burnt my tongue. So I'll do a good amount of pineapple as well, but that's kind of where I'm at with the fruit situation. We did just get Brandon Donovan scratched, but he's out of the lineup.
Yep, he's out
now for this matchup against the Yankees.
Yes.
We also just got Alan Rodin scratch for the Twins. I don't know if that matters much, but the Donovan one matters.
You know who's catching today for the Minnesota Twins?
Mickey Gasper. Are we running all day on Minnesota here today?
Oh, dude. I mean,
who runs on Detroit?
That's the problem, right? Like nobody.
No one's got like 5 stolen bases that we can run out there.
No, but that is the dream spot of all time. Shout out to Poe Degen, who just throws big red gum in there. That is something that burns tongues for sure. I imagine big Poe Degen just got like super high and just like straight up just ate a piece of
what's the one trend that I don't really understand is all of a sudden everybody just adds hot honey on everything. I don't really.
So I've had the hot honey mozzarella sticks from where is it? Is it Chili's? I think Chili's. I don't know. My wife did the hot honey. It was like I think it was Chili's. Maybe TGI Fridays, something like that. Super good, but you could not.
I just don't understand why hot honey just became a thing. It's on every food. All right, enough of the. I think we've delayed long enough to get more of you guys in the show. We appreciate you all tuning in each and every day, supporting us each and every day. All your comments this morning were amazing. Definitely love to see it and hope to keep seeing them. You guys can hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It's a free way to support what we got going on here over at Fantasy Alarm. Let's get into it. Framber Valdez is 10-5, Jacob deGrom 10-3. We talked about ownership on the preview show and sort of where our guesses were on who the highest rostered pitcher for today's slate would be. What are your thoughts on sort of the outcome here at pitching tonight, James?
Yeah, it's no surprise to see Framber get the ownership. My only objection to Framber on the pre-show was you just full stamp of approval saying nothing could go wrong. That was my one issue. It can definitely go wrong. Nothing in MLB DFS has been a given lately, especially with the top pitchers. There's really been, holes in every pitcher's game lately. So I love Framber, 10-5, absolute best pitcher of the slate, full stop, not too much to go into. The only thing that, there's always a case to fade a super chalky pitcher on a 12-game slate when he's this expensive, right? It's not $11K, it's not $12K like we've had it recently, but he's significantly higher owned than everybody else. He's the only pitcher. There's only 2 pitchers that are even 20% rostered, and he's 30% rostered, just to show you the layers of ownership. So, yeah, I think Framber is the best play, but there's always a case to fade someone when the ownership is that much greater than everyone else.
We have 2 starters who are second and third in ownership today that are under $6,000. Kind of give you a sense of where people might be going, because we do have Coors on this slate. We have Sacramento on this slate. So people trying to find the money to spend out. We did it last night. We got Corbin Carroll. We got Ketel Marte. We got those guys in the lineup using one of those cheap options here. DeGrom is still getting 15%. But it's kind of the mid-range after you get past the top group. Do you have interest in any of these 8K starters? Because nobody else does.
In the 8K range, not particularly. I think Kikuchi's a better pitcher than he gets credit for, but 8,800 in a small ballpark is tough to get to. We know Luis Castillo's historically bad splits since being a Mariner on the road. Giolito gets an offense that's on fire. I would say probably Chris Bassett is the one. Chris Bassett's the first name I could see myself getting to. This Texas offense just continues to be bad, kind of full stop. Like, yes, they have games and they have players that have historically hit well. They're 28th in OPS. They have a 150 team ISO against righties this year. That's 20th in baseball. they're bottom 5 in every major category. They don't strike out a bunch, but we're looking at a bunch of spots that doesn't really have that much strikeout upside. So I think Chris Bassett 84, you could play Charlie Morton. There's upside there. I was looking at some Joey Cantillo splits today. Dude, he looks good. As you know, even going from the bullpen to a starting gig, like we've seen that, not be great at times in a lot of cases where like pitchers become starters and all their ratios drop. Well, no, he has a 27% strikeout rate as a starting pitcher this year. So, Atlanta's lineup looks a little better getting Acuna back, obviously, and it just kind of looks better lately in general. And that's primarily because Michael Harris is suddenly the best player in the history of baseball. Jurickson Profar is good again. So I think there's like mild interest in those three guys. And it's interesting because I would play all three of them before playing Sean Manaea. And the field is playing Sean Manaea today. And I don't particularly love that. Seattle is a really high octane offense. Manaea has not been particularly good. The strikeouts have not been there since returning from the IL. I would probably play all three of the guys ahead of him for lower ownership because all three of them are lower owned. And just coming back to Anthony's comment about DeGrom, no, just kind of plain and simple, Anthony, he doesn't have more strikeout upside. Like, I get what you're saying when you're just factoring in Framber's last couple starts. And I assume that was what you're talking about. Doesn't DeGrom have more upside than Framber in terms of strikeouts? Just because Framber hasn't struck people out the last two games doesn't necessarily mean a lot here. This is an elite strikeout spot against Baltimore. And also, DeGrom is facing the team that strikes out the least in baseball. Like, nobody strikes out less than the Toronto Blue Jays. They have a 17% strikeout rate this year against right-handed pitching. So I would say I don't necessarily agree with that DeGrom has more strikeout upside just because he's had more strikeouts in the last couple of matchups. Framber's also gone against the Yankees and Boston. Like, those are two of the best offenses in baseball against lefties.
If you had them both face the Angels, they would probably come out with the same amount of strikeouts, I would assume, right? Like, I think in terms of strikeout upside, they're probably fairly similar to the way we've seen Framber pitch this year. So
yes,
now you're just looking at matchups, and you take Framber versus Baltimore over DeGrom versus Toronto any day here. So let's get into the value. When we did the preview show, it was Eric Fetty. We were excited to stack against him. It's now Hurston Waldrop, who burned me big time. Well, actually, Jurickson Profar killed me in that start, climbing fully over a wall to steal a home run.
Yep.
But Waldrop is a guy that we've always kind of been intrigued. What?
I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing at the progression of that. Like, he burned me. Well, he didn't burn me. It was
Profar burned me. Yeah. I had 2+ earned runs allowed. He was well on his way. He was a body and a half from 2+ earned runs, and it didn't happen. But his two starts, he's been really good. Faced Cincinnati, faced Miami. Now he gets Cleveland. $7,200 for him. And then, as I said, everybody's playing Boyle. And then Jack Perkins also getting ownership left today.
Yeah. So, and we'll go back to Heel too, because we didn't talk Heel yet.
Sure.
We'll start Waldrop. Yeah, I think he's fine. I'm a little bit concerned. Obviously, Cleveland has been significantly better, and that's, primarily the top half of their lineup has been better, right? Kyle Manzardo is hitting 360 since the All-Star break. Jose Ramirez has protection behind him, and people have to throw pitches to him. And now when people throw pitches to Jose Ramirez, he's like the best player in the league. Steven Kwan's getting up. Like, Angel Martinez is like, it's a good top half of the lineup that we were able to exploit earlier in the year or not able to exploit anymore. I'm okay with Waldrop. I think he is obviously a super talented pitcher. Hasn't really missed like a lot of bats at the minor league level. Like, it's been fine. He's been over a strikeout per inning, but wasn't that good. And in the two starts, there's, a big discrepancy between the ERA and some of the other stuff like 226 BABIP. Does that continue? Batted ball stuff, usually that will correct itself. 372 xFIP kind of suggests it will as well. So
he's kind of one of those rare things. He was drafted in 23 and made his major league debut in 24.
Yep.
And now he's basically his third year as a pro. He's back in the majors. So
third year as a pro. And like, he's been good, like had that meteoric rise in 23 where he was just like, he pitched at every level
of the minors. Yeah. First round pick, every level of the minors right away. Like,
just like, oh, you're too good. It's the Chase Burns thing, right? Like, oh, you're too good for this. Like, but just not as like, and also he's walked a lot of people at every level.
50 walks and 91 minor league innings this year.
He hasn't done that through 2 starts. That's always a little scary when Cleveland has like really good patient hitters at the top of their lineup. Steven Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Manzardo. So I am not in on Waldrop as much as I am someone like Luis Gil. I also think like, we just have an infinitely higher ceiling with Gil, at least in terms of strikeouts. Now, to be fair, lineup definitely got easier without Brendan Donovan. And to be fair, like this is also a guy who can struggle with control. We saw it in his first start. But obviously the reins were removed. 91 pitches, start number 2, pitched into the 6th inning. The strikeouts were there. The control was good. The velocity was there. And St. Louis has obviously been a shell of itself, since the deadline and since the All-Star break. So I like Gil. The value pitchers are obviously interesting. The Perkins one is I guess a little weird because he made his first like big leap into starting. Because if you remember, the night before Mason Miller got traded, he picked up that 2-inning save, and he was like gonna be the closer. And then they were like, actually, he's making a start next time, and now he's up to 84 pitches. He actually looked good. The strikeouts have been okay all year, in extended role, but it's just like, this is just people betting on the Angels striking out and not homering, right? Because we're putting a team that does hit home runs in a very small ballpark, but you also can get that team to strike out a lot. So you're just flipping a coin playing Perkins. That's truly what it comes down to. You're playing a $5,900 pitcher, flipping a coin. And then Joe Boyle is a $5,400 player that we've seen a massive ceiling from when he first got called up and started piggybacking.
He's now officially the highest rostered projected pitcher too. Just got an update through.
Wow, he leaped Framber too. Holy smokes. It's fine. You put him in a big ballpark and, against an offense that has been better against righties, but still struggles. Like, it's still not an elite number by any stretch. You just hope he throws strikes, because we had said it upon him getting recalled. Well, he's had a long history of not throwing strikes back to his A's days. And then he corrected it in his first couple outings, and here we go, 5, 2, and 3 walks in his last 3 outings. So if he, he's a huge human being who throws really hard, and there's obviously super high ceiling. He just needs to throw strikes. So I'd rather go Boyle than Perkins, but it's also risky. So, in a situation where people are obviously doing this because then we're going to get to bats, the top 6 bats are all Arizona. So it's not like there's a clear reason why people are going this route. It's pay up for Framber, pair them with a cheap SP2, and hope one of these
pitchers tonight.
If I'm multi-entering,
I think multi-entering. Sure. I mean,
I probably don't. I probably don't do it in single. I probably don't do it in single entry.
And Perkins, and you have $4,800 to play.
I mean, you could do whatever. Whatever. It's whatever you want. But like, you're obviously you're betting on the Angels not homering 5 times.
You're not playing him and hoping the other thing.
No, I know.
What you're banking on, honestly, is that like the highest scoring pitcher in the slate's like 21 fantasy points. and you hope they come in at like 15, 16, and you can now play the entire Coors game and nobody else can. You need Framber to keep the run of top starters getting shelled. And
yes, yeah, and that's the risk you take when you don't play a top pitcher. Right, you played Perkins and he flops and Framber goes for
Pretty
30.
much.
You're on to Saturday.
Catcher, you have Salvi as your top roster catcher today. Actually, $4,100. Salvador Perez.
Yeah, we kind of penciled that in that Savali would be.
I agree.
A punching bag.
Augustin Ramirez against Giolito's number 2. He's $3,900, and then you have your Colorado game, Goodman and James McCann behind the dish tonight as your next 2 guys.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is interesting. I'll start with Goodman, just given the price there. We've talked about Brandon Pfaadt over the last couple of years as lefties getting to him. It's really been a everyone's involved type of thing. I mean, righties have a 177 ISO against Brandon Pfaadt, but a 231 expected ISO. Lefties have a 210 ISO and an expected ISO of 240. So really, anyone is in a good spot against Brandon Pfaadt these days. I like Langoliers in tournaments too because he hits a lot of home runs, and obviously you can always play Cal. To your Salvi point, guy is very good at baseball. You look up, he's going to have 30 home runs and 100 runs or close to 100 runs batted in after the start that he had. And you're like, right, he's super good. The Giolito stuff is interesting. Obviously relating to Augusto Ramirez here. Giolito has kind of overperformed when you look at some of the peripheral numbers. Righties have a 137 ISO against them. They also have a 206 expected ISO, which is a big discrepancy. His fastball has a 110 ISO against a 223 expected ISO. You don't often see 100-point difference in ISO and expected ISO. There's something going on there, right? Like there's something going to change. So I don't dislike Augustin Ramirez at all. Like Fenway's a very good ballpark, and we've talked extensively lately about how good the Marlins offense. I mean, the Marlins offense is super good from top to bottom at this point. So yeah, I like Augustin at 38 or 39 rather. Sorry.
Where do we go next as we work our way down the list here?
Diaz is okay at 37. I don't think, have we gotten an Angels lineup yet? I don't think so. I guess depending on who's in the lineup, Ohapi is probably playing here. We haven't gotten a home run in a while. I'd guess that would change. We know how good Cuero is against lefties. That's his specialty. Hitting fifth. That's always been a good spot. Liam Hicks, once again, hitting fourth. Like the Marlins keep running this back with Liam Hicks in the 4 hole at 3K. Bo Naylor is a cheap home run or an 0 for 4. There's really nothing in between. Freddie Fermin, 2,300 is a nice punt. And, you can always play catchers in course. Like we didn't say James McCann, but last night Herrera homer, right? And that's just what can happen in cores when the Rockies are using the pitchers that they continue to use.
Yeah.
James McCann is 4,300, and typically I don't want to play $4,300 James McCann, but he's actually been pretty good. I mean, he's almost an 800 OPS player this year for a guy who is just a castaway for Baltimore. So I think it's fine at $4,300 as well.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, we can go to first.
At first base, again, as we kind of highlighted, there's a pretty obvious selection of where we want to go. Ohtani is your top rostered play here at the first base position. He's not the top overall player on the slate, but at first base at the dual position eligibility, he is for spend up, and then it's all cheapies from there. So that leads me to asking you, do you have any interest in the other 5K first baseman tonight?
Yeah, I mean, like the Kurt stuff is tough. I would play him in a stack, but Kikuchi's been so dominant against lefties. You could play Alonso because Castillo struggled on the road. Vladdy is in a tough spot, but he's obviously been awesome, like night in, night out. Awesome. Olsen's been good against lefties. I don't think we need to go there. Devers, I feel more confident to say Devers has like 2 walks than he does like 2 home runs. Sure. And then Freeman, you could definitely play. So it's like, it's basically Ohtani or bust in this tier. Basically.
Yeah. I like Torque just underneath it at $4,900. Just given that matchup that they have today. Obviously they have Urania as the long man, so he'll be in that game at some point. Pasquantino versus Savali, Manzardo. Again, it's a little bit of a tougher matchup versus Waldrop and kind of Fetty, but would still be willing to go in that direction. And then Locklear is your second highest rostered guy at $3,900.
As anticipated, hitting 6th again. Didn't do anything yesterday, but he's gonna be popular. I'd play Bernabel as well at $3,700. I think both of them are fine. Kafis is in the lineup, 3,200. Miguel Vargas is hitting first. People were playing Noah Cameron. I don't know if the ownership has adjusted at all. I guess his ownership has fallen off. Good for the field to realize that the White Sox are a good lineup against lefties. But Vargas leading off, and you can also play our boy Curtis Mead, $2,800 against Noah Cameron as well here.
Yep. Second base position, Ketel Marte, obviously far and away, almost 30%. No one else over 10% here. So pretty clear, I guess, where the chalk is going. And we built with them last night. I don't really have a reason not to go there. But if you aren't spending up at Ketel Marte, I think you and I both talked about it. Xavier Edwards at 44, Luke Keyshaw at 41. Some plays down there that we're certainly interested in.
I was trying to see. Glaber only has 4 steals this year. I was trying to see. Detroit is going to steal a base.
Let's see what I'm gonna check DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm gonna see who has the highest stolen base odds today on that.
For those that don't know, Mickey Gasper is an appalling catcher. Like, not a catcher who's catching. And they ran all over him the other day. The Yankees did. Everybody ran against Mickey Gasper.
So McKinstry's plus 500. So they have him as the
oh boy,
the best odds to steal. He's got 18.
Okay, so it's McKinstry. Well, they're leading off Colt Keith. He has 0 steals this year. Their 1 and 2 hitters have 4 stolen bases combined. Carpenter has 1. They have 5 stolen bases through 3 batters. Riley Green has 1. 4 I bet you Torque doesn't have any either. No, they have 2. He has 2. They have 3 stolen bases through their first 5 batters or whatever. 7 stolen bases total. I mean, it's just they're not. But like, this is the spot. I wish I could tell you.
I mean, it feels like a McKinstry stolen base spot. But to your point, like DraftKings lists the stolen bases for the players they have odds for. Wenzel Perez has 6, right?
They don't steal.
Javier Baez has 5. Gleiber's got 4. Colt Keith's got 0. That's all they have for odds. They don't even have the other guys.
Because no one else has stolen. No one steals. Unfortunate. I mean, I'd play Glaber in a stack. You can play Keyshaw. You can play Edwards. They look good.
What game did he catch in? What was the last game that he was?
The Yankees game. Judge had a steal. Jazz had 3. What day did he catch?
It was the 12th.
The 12th. Yeah. How many steals did the Yankees have?
Jazz had 2.
Judge had 1.
Judge had 1. So they only had 3. And actually, Trent Grisham got caught stealing.
Yep, got caught stealing. Shout out to Trent Grisham. He's an appallingly bad catcher, regardless. But yeah. Let's see. What else do we want?
I said Edwards and Keyshaw.
Yeah, Albies is fine, hitting fifth. He's obviously been a better player. Lennon Sosa, $3,400, continues to be underrated. Urias is getting some ownership. I don't have a lot of interest there. You could play Ritter, who's in the lineup tonight. He's really cheap in cores, but not a lot to like, especially when you plug Cattell and you move on here.
Yep. Third base, nobody over 10% tonight. Carlos Correa and Blaze Alexander are both 9%. Kyle Karros, Eric Karros' son there, is also in that same range. So everybody's looking to spend down. Michael Garcia is your top spend up in terms of pricing. He's 7% though. So again, no one really looking to pay up for a Ramirez, a Bregman, a Caminero, Suarez, Machado. None of those guys are getting any ownership tonight.
Yeah, no one can because everyone's playing Corbin and Cattell. It's, they had their whole, and Shohei. All three of those players have all the ownership. So I love Jose Ramirez and the form that he's in. Alex Bregman continues to rake, and we've talked about this for, since he's basically returned from the IL. He rakes against right-handed pitching. I mean, he has 14 homers against righties. He has a 286 ISO against righties. So 14 of 16 home runs have come against right. Like, I love Bregman here in this spot. So I'd play any of the top two. You can obviously always play Caminero. And then, yeah, I mean, Blaze hitting ninth is a little bit interesting. Yeah, it's a nice little like connection to the top, because Arizona's just not cheap. They're all expensive, obviously. He's as cheap as you're gonna basically find. And he connects with Corby and Marte, right? So you do have that going for us. So and Geraldo. So I like Blaze at 4K. I don't mind the Correa one. He's been better against lefties. But he has just been better as a member of the Astros in general. But at that same price, I'd just go Blaze here at third.
All right. It's again, Karros is 3K. Anything else down here for you?
Yeah, Mead. You could play Mead here. You could play Graham Pauley if you wanted to punt the position, $2,400.
Shortstop brings us to Geraldo Perdomo, $5,600. He's your highest roster play. Zach Neto is under him. Actually, we just got an update. It's still Perdomo, and Neto is 1-2. Perdomo a little bit more expensive, more rostered though now, almost 20%.
Okay, interesting. I mean, it's not like it's interesting that Perkins is getting so much ownership, and yet Zach Neto is the second. It's just people literally being like, all right, if the field is going to play Perkins, then I will play Angels, right? Because it's a great ballpark to hit in. So, yeah, Perdomo deserves and you and I were talking about this. We were talking live during that game. Like 5,600 for Geraldo Perdomo is a lot, but like he got 5 at-bats last night. He had 2 hits and 3 runs for an RBI machine, didn't have any. That's going to probably change this evening. So he has that same line. He has 2 RBIs. Now you're looking at 18 fantasy points. Like, it's such a good play, $5,600. I like Neto. You could definitely get to Witt against Savale. I like any of those guys quite a bit. And Lindor is obviously figuring it out the last couple of days.
Yeah. Any other guys in this mid-range for you?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not playing Bassett, Seager. Trevor Story hitting 4th. We've known Trevor Story has had really good success against righties this year. You mentioned McKinstry. I mean, that's your most likely candidate to steal a base. I just
bet him to steal. Yeah, he hasn't been on base in a month, but that's fine.
He hasn't been on base, and that's the key. But if he does get on base, he's going to steal. Otto here against Giolito under Gabriel Arias at 2,900. We just continue to shout him out because he continues to be really good.
Yeah, Hernandez is getting ownership. That's probably about it, though.
Yep, that's it.
Then it takes us over to the outfield position. Jake McCarthy is actually your highest rostered outfielder for today. $3,700 hitting 5th. Lourdes Gurriel, Corbin Carroll round out your top 3 there. Even Alec Thomas cracks a top 5. So top 6 rather. So just the entire Diamondbacks outfield situation today.
Yeah, on the McCarthy front, it's kind of a must. $3,700 5-hitter in cores. Just understand he's been, having the year he's had, and obviously Alek Thomas is a pivot away, a slight pivot in terms of ownership. But there is obviously a little bit of an ownership discount if you do want to go to Thomas. Corby's an obvious play. Don't need to spend too much time on it. And everything you said about the pivots are true. Like Ohtani's getting ownership, but he's going to check in lower owned than Corbin Carroll. So is Judge against a reverse splits pitcher and Andre Payante.
We said this on the preview show, right? Like somebody of the top group is not going to get ownership love here today.
Yep.
And Judge is that dude. Ronald Acuna's back under 10% at $5,300 versus lefty.
We saw what happened when he came back the last time.
Yep.
He homered in his first at bat.
So you're getting these guys under 10% with double dong upside and more. So
is Acuna's price $5,300 just because he was hurt?
Probably $1,000 less expensive than he's been all season long. First time under 6K.
That's what I'm saying. I'm serious. Like, what is the reason?
I don't have a reason. That feels like a pretty good click.
Why would he ever be the price that he is right now?
I don't know.
Like ever. Why would he ever?
I mean, Buxton's $5,300 as well, and he probably should be more expensive. So
agreed. Totally agree.
But anyways, top group's all good. You can play Detroit plays. We always kind of say this is the spot to find your stack. If you're not a believer in Perkins, you have your Angels. Red Sox guys, Duran, Anthony, Willier, all here against Alcantara. What else are you looking at in the 4K? You like Texas lefties versus Bassett? Are you buying into Carter hitting fifth?
I mean, I'm okay with it. It's a hard thing to ever assess Chris Bassett because he's so good and so bad from start to start. He could absolutely shut your lights out, or he can give up 10 runs in 2 innings. And it's just the risk you take with Chris Bassett. So, yeah, I'd play Texas lefties. I'd also use Chris Bassett against them. So we'll see which prevails. I like Stephen Kwan, 4,200 against Waldrop. I love Willier Abreu hitting 5th tonight. Jacob Marcy's hitting 6th against Lucas Giolito. He's been a dog. You can play Burleson hitting 3rd against Louis Heel. I don't mind Mickey Moniak hitting 2nd against Brandon Pfaadt. That's been a money spot. Lefties against Pfaadt still just rate out really good. Profar hits really well from the right side. Schneemann hitting 2nd tonight looks really good. I think Laureano at 4K looks great. So I think there's a lot to like. And then you start getting below 4K. You don't have to go too far. Marcell Ozuna's right there, who continues to rake, and he gets, I think Cantillo's a pretty good pitcher, but Marcell Ozuna looks like he might be past the hip thing. So
mentioned obviously Thomas and McCarthy are there, 38, 37. Yaz leading off versus Savali's 37. Cody Clemens hitting 3rd today against Morton.
Yeah, they're changing up their lineup a lot.
Doyle is against Fawn at 35. Our boy Cam Smith's down to 9. It's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, he's hit a big wall.
Even lefty Michael Harris is just on an insane heater.
Oh, dude, he has been unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Do you prefer any of these other value plays before we get to a lineup?
Kfis is fine. Like Luperfido is playable. I know you can't wait to talk about Jock Peterson.
Hitting cleanup.
Yeah,
today.
I mean, dude, they do this.
Here's where I give the field credit, though. No one's playing him, which means probably a good time to lock him in.
No.
Someone said don't ask about the BVP. You must have good BVP today against Bassett.
Oh, don't do that, dude. Why? Why even bring it up?
Let's just take a little look-see. Let's just see, let's just see what the BVP is. Maybe he's got like 100 plate appearances, something. Maybe he's not 4 for 5. Let's see. He is. He's 5 for 8 with 2 homers. Lock it in. Locked. 5 for 8, 2 homers.
I'm not building the rest of this. I am what's it called? Pick a fence. I'm on
Strike.
Yeah, strike. I'm on strike. I'm not
talking a baseball show. All right, if you did Perkins, Boyle, and Peterson, you have $5,200 a player. You can do whatever you want.
I'm not doing this. I'm not co-signing this lineup. I'm out. And for that, I am out.
Okay. Well, we have Boyle and Framber.
Okay.
And Jock Jams. Non-BVP reasons.
Okay.
Just for straight up value, hitting cleanup. Bad lefty splits for Bassett.
It's so sad. I'm so sad. Okay, just plug Marte in. Plug McCarthy in. Plug Carroll in. Let's see what we got.
37.75. Take a value catcher. What do we want to do? Value catcher.
Fermin.
Where's Fermin at? 4,200. First base, third base, shortstop.
Leave it. Perfect.
Full lineups in the Discord. You know where to find us. For those of you who are interested, we still have our Pick Your Promo going on. If you got your fantasy football draft this week and you're not a member of the Fantasy Zone family, now's the time. Draft 25, get 25% off your fantasy football draft guide. It includes the fantasy football cheat sheet as well. It's a printable PDF with a full draft grid, auction values, rankings for every league type. Andrew Cooper's dynamic tier color-coded positional rankings are in there as well. If you're looking to join for the football season and beyond, we have our annual and monthly promo codes there as well. The annual 25 promo code knocks the annual subscription package down to like $210, I think it is. It basically comes out to $17.99 a month. It's the cheapest deal we've ever offered, and it's good for the year. You can go down and get the monthly cost at 25% off. That's like $29.99. Our usual monthly cost is $39.97. So really, if you want to come join the family for the year, get the annual. It comes out to $18 a month. You'll get access to everything on site, all football, all basketball, hockey, baseball, you name it, right till this time next year. We'll probably be running a promo again. So now is the time to join the Fantasy Alarm family, prepare for your fantasy football drafts, get the rest of the baseball season. Hockey starts in 2 months. Basketball starts shortly after that. So we're in it to win it here. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be back Sunday with the preview show for Monday. We'll see you then.